Apparently, September marks the beginning of matchup chart season, so I wanted to go over a matchup chart of my own. I've seen so many on Twitter in the last couple days, and I was a little bit ahead of the curve. About a month ago, I posted a Mii Swordfighter matchup chart, and I wanted to go over it because I meant to make a video about it, and then I kind of just didn't, so here it is. Before we get into it, I do want to have the caveat, like a huge caveat, of I haven't necessarily played all these matchups at top level, so a lot of this is theory craft, but also I think I'm pretty good at theory craft, so just that's the grain of salt. Right? Oh no, I have a hitbox again. Why is it doing that? So this is my Mii Swordfighter matchup chart. Obviously, I didn't have like super different tiers, like plus 0.5, because I don't care to do that really. But realistically, I think that this character's matchup chart is really good. Some of the evens could be argued for losing, but from my perspective and from my playing, this feels about right. I'll go from the top down. I'm not going to go over every single matchup super in depth, but you know, basically the heavies, you kind of just feel like you do a lot of damage. You're able to edge guard them super effectively with down air and up B. And then of course you can kind of like out mobility them, and you just do so much damage with this character, and the advantage state with Swordfighter is good. So like DK, Bowser, Ganon, Incineroar, D to D, K Rool, like those all feel like really, really comfortable basically all of the time. Of course you can get caught out in a couple bad situations and lose your stocks or take a bunch of damage, but I feel like overall Mii Swordfighter is going to do that more. And also down throw up B is just going to be so good. Oh, another caveat is this is with the more modern moveset of Shuriken, Gale Stab, Power Thrust, and Hero Spin. So obviously with certain matchups you could probably change your matchup if you play like Tornado or if you play Skyward Slash Dash or something like that, but I think that is overall the strongest moveset, so this is going to be the one I'm talking about. It's also the one that I play, and I can't say what the matchups are for the other ones because I don't know, because I haven't played that character. Because especially for me, Swordfighter, like that's a huge difference, right? Obviously like Thrupper and Heli Kick or Shot Put and Flashing Mach Punch can make differences, but I feel like for me, Swordfighters, like being able to kill at 40 versus not being able to do that is a huge difference, right? For Banjo, it mostly feels just like, one, the edge guarding is super good. If Banjo ever chooses to recover low, which sometimes they do because they want to, you know, not burn their Wonder Wings, or if they've already burned all their Wonder Wings, you just get to downer the up B and then up B the up B afterwards. It is actually so free, and they die so early, so if you make them burn their Wonder Wings and they try to use it for offense, like you can kind of just get auto kills, which is really, really strong. For Bowser Jr., it feels like Shuriken kind of disrupts his game plan, and if he side Bs and you side B, you win those trades. So being able to mitigate Bowser Jr. side B, in my opinion, is crazy strong. You can also Shuriken. Again, downer also doesn't put people into tumble, so if you downer his up B at any percent, he's going to die because he won't get back in his cart, which is really strong. For Falcon, it just feels like you do more to Falcon than Falcon does to you, which is, again, not something that is very common for Falcon. I think Falcon is way stronger than a lot of people do, but like the edge guarding is actually so good, because if he ever tries to recover high, like that 50-50 just doesn't really work because you die to up B super early, because again, up B is ridiculously strong. I'm so shocked that they made a move that strong. And then down air, of course, can hit him low, and it's just like his unrecoverable positions. Again, downer into uppy loops is really, really good. For Byleth, it mostly feels like you just have better burst range than him, so you can like Shuriken to kind of keep him annoyed, but you're faster than him, which is not something Mii Swordfighter gets to say about a lot of characters. But if you can start reading his jumps or like anticipating his jumps, you can do like jump side Bs. He's not good at punishing your recovery. Whereas again, I think that down air is really good against tethers, specifically because it's a lingering hitbox, so we can't like tether through the down air for the most part, which again, in my opinion, is very strong. And you basically just like have better burst. You can punish his jumps a lot better than vice versa. So it feels very, very strong to me. For Sheik can't kill. Mii Swordfighter can kill. You do a bunch of damage. The trades are really good in your favor. It feels really nice. For Kirby, you harass him off stage. It's really easy to edgeguard him. If he ever tries to just like be jumping in neutral, then you get to just up air. And if he's trying to just like play the crouch kind of game, you have down tilt, which is like as good as Kirby down tilt, which is crazy because Kirby down tilt is insanely good. And again, you kind of just like end up getting early kills versus Kirby because of the edge guarding. And of course, having really strong burst options with down B and side B is really, really nice. Really is a little bit more complex because his recovery isn't as easily hittable for Mii Swordfighter, but at the same time, like, you just do so much damage, and like the kill confirms work super well on him, like down throw back air up B or just down throw up B, like because he's not super heavy, you'll just grab him at like kind of low percents, like 50 or 60 near the ledge, and he's just dead, which is insane to me. Of course, like if you get the back air, it's more like 35, but just like from down throw up B by itself. And again, you have good burst options, so you can always kind of play outside of his range, because really honestly doesn't have that much applicability applicable burst range. She has like dash up nair, but if Mii Swordfighter like just dashes backwards and then you see them ever do that, you can just kind of like side B the other direction or turn around down B. And shurikens can kind of just be annoying for him to get around because his airspeed isn't super high, so it feels really, really strong in my opinion. Now, for the slight winnings, again, I really feel just like this character has a lot of strong tools, and maybe I'm coping, or maybe I just haven't played the best versions of all these players, but it feels just really, really strong. So for Plant, you outcamp him, and his jumps aren't good, so if you force him to jump, you can just like up air him, like his aerials aren't super great. He can never really get a position where, at least in neutral, that he's in advantage because you always have more options than him, in my opinion. And yes, the ledge trapping can be kind of annoying, but again, as Mii Swordfighter, you have side B, so sometimes you can just skip going to the ledge if there are any platforms. So you don't really have to worry about the ledge trapping that much. For Bayo, again, it's mostly a killing thing. Bayo kind of struggles to kill. The SDI I've noticed is like pretty good for Mii Swordfighter. It's not like a fast follow or the super floaties where you can either SDI up or down, but to me, it just like I take damage, but I don't really die to it. And of course, a lot of the things about Bayo is like mashing air dodge to get out of combos. And even though that can happen with Mii Swordfighter has really, really strong air dodge punishes. So if you ever like read an air dodge, which is something that is like pretty easy to do against Bayo because they're always mashing air dodge, like even the best ones are constantly mashing air dodge, you can get like huge punishes, right? Up air is going to be really good in advantage because you can actually, the burst options being kill options to punish all of her lag. The damage output that Mii Swordfighter does is like honestly like pretty close to Bayo. Like Bayo's is still better, but it's not that bad. And then of course, if you ever get caught out in like weird positions or like you don't have your double jump, down air straight up will just kill, or you can get around and like up B her recovery. Like the edge guarding for Bayo can be pretty good, but again, you have enough options with like B reversing and wave bouncing the side B, as well as like shuriken to cover you. So like I feel like I haven't really got edge guarded that much by this character. Granted, again, I haven't played the super good ones, but it just doesn't feel that bad to me. And again, like up air killing so early on platforms, like it'll kill Bayo if she lands on a platform at like 100, maybe like 95, maybe 90 with no rage. So it's really, really strong. For Ryu, it's mostly just the edge guarding, right? You can kind of play like a simple game of just like, you're going to up tilt anti-air him if he tries to stay on the ground. You have your down tilt that is more range than his down tilt. You have forwarder that's really good at like breaking focus, as well as just like it is a long range attack. So in my opinion, that's really good. And the edge guarding is like ridiculous for this character because if they ever try to Tatsu, you just up B it or back air it. If they ever try to like up B you, I think down air will just straight up beat it or trade. And a lot of times those trades will equal stocks. It's pretty hard for Ryu. Obviously, if he gets in and does a bunch of damage, it's Ryu. He's going to do that. But I feel like Swordfighter has a good amount of options to avoid the like short hop and full hop nair stuff because you have decent anti-air tools with like up tilt and up smash. Sorry, not up smash, up air. And again, like the damage output you do is actually so high, and like you can't focus through up B because it's a multi-hit, so it feels good. For Zelda, like she has a little bit more options than the characters above, even like Banjo, because you can't edgeguard her as easily because her up B is like really hard to two-frame. But generally, you win in every other aspect, right? You can kind of punish her for going for phantoms because you have side B and down B, or if she has to do them early, then that means that like you can kind of just play around that. Your kill potential is generally going to be better. Your kill confirms are generally going to be better. The advantage for Zelda, the advantage state for Mii Swordfighter is really good in the Zelda matchup because you just get to like up air and back air her kind of all the time because she doesn't have great disadvantage tools. So even though the neutral is like a little bit like weird, when you get a hit, it's going to be really good. Even like not just like the kill combos, because I'm not even considering, by the way, just like, oh, just get the kill combo every time. Just get the down tilt into back air into down tilt into back air up B. Like I'm not doing that because like getting them every single time is unrealistic, but I feel like the threat of them is still enough that people have to play differently. So yeah, I mean, Zelda's kind of weird. She's not going to edgeguard you. You're not really going to edgeguard her, but like the neutral is kind of even, but you're just going to do more damage to Zelda. So overall, I think that is a slight win. For Puff, again, side B's really good at recovering. Like double jump side B kind of just beats everything Puff wants to do to you in edgeguard. Like at worst, you're going to trade because side B is disjointed. And trading means that like Puff will get hit away and then you just charge side B again and hit like and recover. And so of course, if you like mitigate Puff's edge guarding, it's going to be really good for you. And then Puff dies really early to all the combos. Frame 4 air dodge is so bad when it comes to getting out of these. So like a lot of characters that are super light at least have like a frame 2 air dodge, but Puff is going to get hit by like every combo. And of course, you're a sword. Puff generally has difficulty with swords because you can wall her out. And even though Swordfighter sword isn't the biggest, I mean, back air is like good enough and safe enough that you can kind of wall her out, forward air mix-ups, things like that. And of course, if she tries to stay on the ground, you have shuriken, you have down tilt, like you have plenty of options. Mario and Fox are actually like two obviously very good characters, but I do think that they are both still slight winning because obviously both characters can do a lot of damage to you, but the edge guarding is so ridiculous in these matchups because down air is straight up just beats their recoveries, right? Like you can, against Fox specifically, you can like down air high, or down air like when they're going to like maybe side B to the ledge, you hit the side B, and if not, and they go for a lower up B, you can just up B it. And obviously some of the times that would lead to SD kills, but if you can like pull back and hit the up B as you are like going back on stage, that's still going to kill it like 55%, which is not a lot of percent. You also get the down tilt loops on Fox, so it's actually very easy to get long kill combos on Fox. Like you literally get like a shuriken down tilt at 0 and Fox is probably dead, or at the very least sent off stage in a position that's bad enough that you just edge guard him and kill him anyway, because like you literally get like down tilt, dash, down tilt, dash grab into like down throw up B, which like straight up will just send him like really far off stage, and then you do the edge guard sequence I talked about. For Mario, it's obviously a little bit more complicated than that because the recovery's a little bit better, but again, down air trades with up B, and if he recovers high, again, you can just kind of up B it. So kind of Mario wants to be in the same kind of airspace that Swordfighter does, and in my opinion, like even though Mario has really good tools like Swordfighter, I don't know, his damage output is just ridiculous, so I feel like when you're trading, it's good for Swordfighter, and then when each of them get their hit, it's obviously very good for them. But I think that Swordfighter just does a good job. Fireball's not really a good option in this matchup because you can always jump and side B Mario for doing so on reaction, and I even do it on reaction on Wi-Fi, so offline that would be even better. You have better ground moves than Mario, mostly off of that down tilt and down B. And your grab game is like low-key as good as his, like not obviously the entire time, but like down throw up air at low percent, down throw up B at mid percent, or down throw back air up B at mid percents. Like I feel like you just kill him more consistently. Like I think both characters kind of struggle a little bit in like the last hit type situations, but because Mario's not good at it, it means that it feels not as bad as Mii Swordfighter. And again, you have the ridiculous burst options that can really make you start winning these situations. So I think it's pretty good for him. I have liked that matchup a lot. It's felt the easiest of any matchup I've played with a character I've taken any type of seriously and like really put the time into, so I think it's pretty good. For Ice Climbers, it's mostly just the fact that your stuff is really safe on shield and you're not really going to care that much about their desyncs because I'm pretty sure Shuriken goes through Blizzard, so if they try to Blizzard desync, it's not really going to matter that much. You're obviously super good at killing Nana, and even though you might take like a hit for it, like if you ever get Nana separated, you literally just up B her and she dies, or get sent far enough off stage, you get like a back air to forward smash, and if you're not at literally death percent, that's a super fine trade in my opinion. You have burst options if they try to do something weird. You are able to advantage this character really well. The neutral isn't that difficult because again, like you are as mobile as Ice Climbers, which obviously that's not a compliment. I think both characters lack mobility, but like down tilt is really good at covering stuff. If they ever try to side B away from you, you can always jump and side B them or down B them if they are like on the floor. So you kind of get to punish what they want to do. They don't really get to punish everything you want to do because they're not fast enough and they don't have the burst option of Mii Swordfighter side B or down B. So in my opinion, it feels pretty good. Little Mac, he's fast, so it can actually be annoying, but obviously the advantage is really good. The edge guarding is really good. So still an advantage, but definitely harder than, it's strange. Like it's one of the harder matchups that I've played that like should be easy. So yeah, I think it's still fine. For Falco, I think it's slight winning mostly off the back of the edge guarding. Again, I think on stage it can be a little bit annoying because Falco has up tilt, so you don't really want to jump that much, and on the ground you are susceptible to things like random side Bs, of course, and like F tilts and down tilts and like dash grab mix-ups, and I don't think Mii Swordfighter has the mobility to like super outplay him like that, but at the same time, you're going to be doing a bunch of damage to Falco. You're going to be edge guarding the hell out of him because again, you have that down air, you have that up B, you have Shuriken to make him go low. I think I'm a little Shuriken happy in this matchup. I actually have a couple sets where I played against Butterkicks, who is like one of the best players on Smash Bros right now, Falco and Ice Climbers main, and he played a really, really good set. I think like the only annoying thing is like Falco has a little bit more consistent kill confirms because he has just like up tilt back air, which is obviously really good, but if you can get the early percent kills, that will kind of even that out, and again, you're going to get the edge guards as well, so I think overall it is slight winning, even if it's not like super easy. Duck Hunt, they keep the projectiles in front of him, so it's a little bit annoying, and it can be difficult to kind of get into neutral, but Shuriken does do a good enough job kind of stopping the side Bs, stopping the cans. Down B can be a little bit difficult, but again, you have those burst options. If they're going for like very obvious patterns, you can like side B or down B under a can before it lands on the stage again. But the frame 1 combo escape, obviously going to be very good, but the edge guarding for Mii Swordfighter is going to be strong as well, so I think it's a slight win. I'm sure that if I played Zog, I would lose because she's really good, but like that's not, I don't think, like a matchup thing. I think that's just like she's going to have more experience in it than I will, so I'm down to lose that. For Pichu, you just kill him. He actually just dies ridiculously early. I down tilted a Pichu once at like 30% at the ledge, and they just died to down tilt up B, which is insane. Having a bad 2-frame is a really big deal in my opinion, because you actually can get those down tilts from a 2-frame from sending them off stage, which is a bad look. For Robin, again, neutral can be kind of weird because you have to deal with all these projectiles and all these different mix-ups, especially like the super high level Robins, but Shuriken can kind of stop some stuff, which, you know, really helps because they can't just do everything they want. And then again, the edge guarding is really bad, so if you send them off stage, you can cover high recoveries, grab ledge, and then they go L-wing, and you just go drop off up B, rinse and repeat over and over again, or the down tilt up B, kind of down tilt wait, or like double jump wait for them to up B them. It's really, really good. For Rosa, same thing, you're just going to edge guard her, and also I feel like the neutral for her isn't super great. She has to stay grounded the entire time, which means she's going to be susceptible to Shuriken kind of being annoying. If she jumps, you can always, because she's so floaty, like side B her or whiff punish her on landing. It just feels really good. Like the neutral for Rosa is obviously the best part about her. Her damage output sucks, and a lot of other things are like not great about her. And Mii Swordfighter can kind of just abuse those, kill Luma pretty easily. And then if they ever get caught in the air, like up air is really good. So you can kind of harass the floaty nature of her with kill moves instead of just like, you know, from my perspective, right, of like Pika. It's like, I'm going to harass her with my up air that does 6% and will kill at 130 with bad DI, as opposed to like, I'm going to kill you at 85. You have to be so scared of this. Oh, you air dodged up B, which is just ridiculous. And again, I think side B being good enough in neutral, like short hop side B can like hit Luma through shield and then also cross Rosa up, so it's pretty difficult to punish it. I think it feels good. For Sephiroth, you can kind of ignore his big range because you have side B and down B, and Shuriken is annoying. That's kind of it, right? You have effectively more range than Sephiroth because of those side Bs, and then of course, like your combo game is better than his, your grab game is better than his. You can't really edge guard him, which is a little bit of a knock on this. I mean, you can with like Shurikens and stuff, but you're not gonna like down air his up B, because his up B, especially like the hold up B, will just outrange it every time. So I got to be careful of that. Greninja, you can kind of disrupt his ground game in my opinion with Shuriken, and you can edge guard him super hard. Obviously, the advantage for Greninja is pretty good, and he's faster than you, but I think your Shuriken is better than his Shuriken, so you're kind of he's forced to play on your game because he has to jump to avoid your Shuriken, which I think is fine. And of course, if you are especially if you are good at footstool down B, like none of Greninja's aerials are going to be safe. You're just going to punish him a lot. And I feel like, you know, even though I'm personally bad at it, that's my flaw as a player. Whereas I feel like footstool punishes have been like kind of shown as like, oh, you should just be doing these all the time, with like footstool downer as Pyra, footstool downer as you know, Steve and Sephiroth. So I think it is like pretty reasonable to be good at those. And if you space around it, of course, like I can always like dash back or like short hop backwards in side B or down B, because again, the burst range for Swordfighter is just ridiculous, and you can just play with punish the entire time. And it feels interesting because this is one of the matchups that I actually got a lot of pushback on when I posted this. Specifically, it was like Greninja, and like I feel like people don't appreciate the burst options for punishing landings very much. And maybe that's just my bias as a Pikachu main, who I just get to like quick attack people for landing. But it feels very similar, and it feels very strong. Like it's a very good thing to do. So I think that's the main reason. For Palu, you actually just edge guard her, right? Like it's really hard for her to get a comfortable enough position to like up B and then grab the ledge with no 2-frame, because you have the ability to throw shurikens, which can either force her to air dodge or will hit her, or they have to recover very high, in which case they are at range or at risk of like a back air or a forward air. So they have to make weird decisions. If she ever goes low, she actually straight up dies, because you just down air her recovery and then you up B the next recovery. She straight up just dies all the time. It's actually like surprisingly easy. The neutral can obviously be a little bit tricky, but again, her speed is mitigated by the fact that you also have random burst options with side B and down B, so she can't be comfortable just like, I'm gonna dance around you and do all these things, because you can just be like, oh, which makes her kind of second guess what she wants to do, which in my opinion is really strong. And then you can really just kill her off stage. Your combos still work really well on her because she's kind of a fast faller, so you get like a decent amount of damage. Like you can get like back air, down tilt, back air into grab and stuff like that, which is just like so much damage. And even if it's not going to actually kill, it's going to send her off stage to the point where she probably can't get a non 2-frameable angle, which means you down air up B her. If you like shoot out a shuriken to cover the double jump, basically it's good. It feels very good. For Young Link, I feel like you just kind of hit him harder than vice versa. You know, both characters can kind of play the far away game, but I feel like shuriken can kind of stop the projectiles of Young Link, which obviously is a super good strength of his, but at the same time, like, you have a better recovery than him. Swordfighter can edgeguard the hell out of this character, in my opinion. Your kill confirms are stronger, your kill moves are stronger, so it just feels overall like everything Young Link wants to do is either like kind of mitigated by Swordfighter. Like the camping's not as good because you always have the burst options of like jump side B. Like if they try to like pluck bomb or like throw boomerang down, you can just be like jump, hit you. Or like if you are wrong about that and get hit by like the boomerang, it's going to be far enough away that you're probably probably not going to get comboed into anything, so it's worth the risk reward. For Yoshi, he's a sword character that does a bunch of damage and can punish him really hard for being in the air because you have up air. I've noticed that it feels really easy to edgeguard him. You know, Shuriken makes him kind of hesitant to recover just with eggs really far out because he'll just get hit further and further out, and then you can kind of just like jump at him and then force him to air dodge when he double jumps, and then you just up B it or down air it and he just dies. The damage up for Yoshi is obviously very good, but I think overall Swordfighter it feels really good in that matchup. Like I haven't struggled with any of the Yoshis I've played. For Roy and Chrom, mostly just the edge guarding, right? I feel like they are fast fallers, so they get hit super hard by the Mii Swordfighter combos because you just get down tilt chains. You are able to like swat out the Roy and Chrom stuff, and even though they have great kill confirms, like oftentimes they have to retreat because of Shuriken or like jump in the air because of Shuriken, and again you have the ability to just like up air them, up tilt them. If you ever get a parry on a landing aerial, especially at low percent, it's parry down tilt. At high percents, parry grab is ridiculous just because of the strength of Mii Swordfighter's grab game. It feels really good. For Luigi, you kind of just keep him out the whole time, and then you have random burst options of like jump side B to just like get out of situations regardless if you're going to hit him or not. The edge guarding is of course really strong because downer will beat out up B, and it like lingers and goes pretty far down, so I think that's pretty good. And if he ever like does a higher side B, you either threaten it with back air, or you can just like throw Shuriken at him and then it will stop the side B, which means he has to then like do another side B and then double jump side B, and then you can just like again throw a Shuriken or like be there to punish with back air. I think it's really strong. For Ness a little bit struggles with sword characters. Again, you edgeguard him pretty strong because you have the ability to force him to go low with Shurikens, so he basically has to go low, or he can be like, you know, he can like do his aerials, but then he's like double jump doing aerial, and then you are a sword character that can kind of swat him out with back air or up B, and then you can actually like hit his up B with your up B if they go from like the diagonal angle. If they're super low, you're probably not going to mess with it, but again, you force Ness to the ledge a lot in my opinion, and Mii Swordfighter is really good at killing at the ledge, so I think it's totally fine. And then a lot of his moves aren't actually safe enough to like not be punished out of shield even by like hero spin, so I think it's fine. For Wii Fit, your camping's better than their camping. You'll edgeguard them. The damage output's scary though, so this character is still threatening. I think this character is underrated for sure, but I still think it's fine. For Wolf, you edgeguard him. The neutral is fine. The combos are good on both sides, but you just really edgeguard him so hard, and it's really hard to two-frame Mii Swordfighter because the side B has like, you can release it a little bit early, have the hitbox above the stage, and then you'll still grab ledge. So it's really hard to like for Wolf to do the same things, and the edgeguarding actually feels the freest of any character that I've ever played against Wolf. It feels really good. For Pit, it's mostly just the damage output and kill potential differential of just like up B out of shield or random burst options down air, right? So like his strongest aspect is his neutral, and then you can kind of disrupt his neutral with shurikens, with side Bs, with down Bs, and of course like you still have good aerials and stuff, so I think it's pretty winning. For Mewtwo, just feels like you do what he wants to do better. Shuriken is annoying, so he can't really play the Shadow Ball game. You kill him super early. You can edgeguard him kind of similar to Palu, where like you just down air his up B and then you up B his up B. It's really, really strong, or you force them to recover high, in which case you can just like down tilt them, or again just ledge trap them, and if they ever try to do like the up B to stage and I'm going to be a little bit safer, like you have jump side B or down B to punish that. It's really good. Those moves are so broken. I don't know why I never tried those moves before Shishio like a couple years ago. It's crazy. For Terry, you kind of just wall him out, and again, the edge guarding is really, really good, because if he ever tries to do a charge up B, you can actually just down air trade with that later in the hitbox when it's not invincible anymore, which is really, really strong, and then he loses his charge, so the second one won't be charged, which means it's just going to die. You combo him really hard. He doesn't have great defensive options in this matchup, and even though, like, of course, like, run up, do stuff is annoying for, like, Terry's just, you know, is still a good character. Like, he's oftentimes not getting to rage, or, sorry, to go, honestly, because you just can just kill him pretty easily, and you can edge guard him super hard. Like, the edge guarding for this character is like ridiculous, and I think it's super underrated. I think it's very, very strong. So yeah, same for Doc. Like, even though of course Jazar is a god and he will beat me, but it just feels like, oh, you should be able to edge guard him, and you know, being able to harass him further out with shurikens makes him like have to burn cape early, which means he's going to go low, which means he has to down B, which means you can just like back air or forward air him. Or just like throw a shuriken if you want, whatever. It feels good. The neutral can be scary because, of course, if he gets the parries, he has like really good out of shield options. But I think overall, like, Swordfighter wins. And if Jazar beats me, it's because Jazar beats me. For Marth, Lucina, and Corrin, it mostly just feels like you have better burst options than them, so your effective range is bigger. So they can't play the I'm gonna be a sword fighter game, because you can just whiff punish them with side B and down B, and of course force them to like not just be super comfortable because you have a projectile and shuriken. I think side B and down B are just broken. I think they're so good. I think that kind of defines the entire matchups. If you get core off stage low enough, you can downer through the up B, and it will like trade if you get it further out. And of course, if they recover high, you can just up B them or back air them. Like that 50-50 is like really, really good for Swordfighter in my opinion. For Lucario, honestly, I could be wrong about this one. Lucario is my least knowledgeable. I'm so not knowledgeable about this character because there's none of them that I've ever I've played like one in tournament ever. That was like years and years and years ago. And I haven't gone to Japan to play the Japanese ones, so it just feels like he's not going to be able to get Rage very often, like Rage and Aura stuff, because you can kill pretty early. You can edge guard him with, again, down air into up B, especially earlier when they can't go like super far around you. It just feels good. For Ike, you kind of do what Ike wants to do better than him, right? Like obviously he has his landing aerials, but again, parries, down tilts can be really, really strong for that. If you ever guess the 50-50 right on like he has to shield, you just grab him, it feels good. For Ken, similar to Ryu, you're going to edge guard the hell out of him. Ken, I feel like, is a little bit more difficult than Ryu because he's faster. But I still feel like it's winning because you should be able to edge guard him, and as long as you can react to their jump-ins or like play around their jump-ins, I feel like it's really, really good. And obviously it feels even, but that's because I only really play on Wi-Fi, so I feel like offline it would feel better, which I think is fine. For Gunner, you kind of camp as hard as Gunner wants to camp, and then you're able to kill, and Gunner can't really kill, and you have better burst options, and you're able to edge guard this character a little bit better. So it just feels good. I could be wrong about that. I think I have played Competency in this matchup, and it felt very even, but that was also like, I think we went back and forth, and maybe I lost the set, but I feel like that was just because I think that was the beginning of me playing Swordfighter with this moveset, so I was like, that's fine. For Link, just feels like you kind of want to do what he wants to do better. Again, similar to Young Link, you can harass him in neutral with Bomb. Nope, not with Bomb. With Shuriken, you can outrange him with the stuff like your forward air. It's a little bit safer, a little bit less committal than Link's aerials. Obviously, you can't super edge guard him as easily because he has bomb recoveries, but if he can't bomb recover, you get to kill him super easily, and either way, like, I feel like your kill potential is as good as Link's, and the neutral is better, and the combos for you are better unless they get the super crazy stuff, which, again, haven't seen that as often, other than Gluttony posting it on Twitter, but I haven't seen him do it in tournament as much, so I don't know. For Pokemon Trainer, it just feels like you kind of have an advantage against all of them. You have better camping than Ivysaur, you have really good close quarter options against Squirtle, and then, as I mentioned, the heavies are all kind of easy for Swordfighter, so it just feels good. Overall, like, down tilt being so good against Squirtle is really important because he wants to stay on the ground for the most part. If they ever are jumping at you, you have like backup side B or just up tilt under them. It, again, feels good. For Isabelle and Villager, because I know they're both there, it just feels like Shuriken kind of like is annoying for them. They have to constantly be pocketing it, and it kind of disrupt their setup. You can edge guard the ever-loving shit out of them because you just have downer and up B on their balloons. Up B on balloons is so good. They don't really have enough damage or combos to really keep up with your damage and combos, and then your random kill potential is better than theirs by like a significant amount, in my opinion. Your ground moves are overall better than theirs. I mean, a little bit closer with Isabelle, right? She has jab and up tilt, but your down tilt is just so potent, in my opinion, and it will kind of crouch under short hop fair, which is really good. So I think it's good. For Olimar, this matchup, I don't think it is winning for this moveset, but this is like the one matchup I've seen like Tornado just kind of destroys Olimar because like he can't throw Pikmin, which is insane. So even though this is not my experience, like I've watched that matchup and I'm like, this feels really like, even when Olimar was like broken pre-patch, I remember people being like, we should play Mii Swordfighter for Olimar. And that was like a legitimate thing, and no one actually did it, but the Olimars were very much complaining about that matchup for the couple of Mii Swordfighters that they played. So I think that is definitely a Shuriken matchup. I think the rest of the moves are probably fine. Burst options are going to be great. In general, to punish Olimar because he's a sword character, essentially. For Toon Link, that one's honestly probably even because I made this about a month ago, but I would still say like, edgeguarding Toon Link is relatively easy still. Your damage output's really good. You kind of do similar things, but in my opinion, Swordfighter's like threat of up air is just a little bit scarier, and again, your up B kills earlier, so I think that like the random air-to-air situations or like air dodge reads are better for Swordfighter than vice versa. For the Belmonts, it just feels like you get to do shurikens and stuff, and if they're forced to like jump and throw their projectiles, like jump and throw down B, then you can kind of jump and side B them, which can be annoying and get them punished. Obviously, you can edge guard them with just shuriken by itself is just so annoying for it. And then you can keep them near the ledge because they don't really have great options to get off of ledge, in my opinion. So I think it's overall winning. And that's a lot of good matchups, in my opinion. That's over half the cast for sure. There are several even matchups, and even then, like, I still feel like some of these are probably better than what it feels like. Like I personally think maybe Peach and Snake are potentially winning because I also am a Snake hater in terms of I really like fighting him, so it's really, really fun. But Zero Suit, she's also mobile. I think that you could side B and down B her, but like Zero Suit can be evasive and kind of hard to hit at high percents, which can be a little bit difficult because I think her Zair will, for the most part, beat out things like side B and down B. For Swordfighter, which can be annoying, of course, so you don't really get those burst option kills that you would against like sword characters and stuff like that. And then, of course, she has good jumps, good recovery, so you're not really going to be edgeguarding her. She can a little bit edgeguard you because she has that Zair and side B to kind of just like go out there and be like, you can't charge side B. And then, of course, if you go low, then you are at risk of getting like 2-framed by down smash and stuff like that. It can be a little bit scary, but I still feel like you have the overall damage output, combo game, and kill potential overall compared to Zero Suit, so I think it's still fine. It's just a little bit more awkward. You don't get to run your game plan as easily. For Steve, like, this is obviously a good thing that Steve has an even matchup, or Swordfighter has an even matchup with Steve. Shuriken is really, really annoying for him. It forces him to make blocks from, like, all the way across the stage, but you have a really good down tilt for poking blocks and then still kind of just being annoying for him. And then a really important thing is the way his animations work. Down throw, back air into up B is always a combo on Steve, no matter how you DI at the specific percents, of course. But he means that if you do get a grab at like 30% when he corners himself because he has to make blocks and mine, if you get a grab in that position, he's straight up just gonna die if you react to the DI correctly. DI out or in, it doesn't matter, it still works, which is really, really strong. But of course, Steve is Steve, right? The kill potential is really good, the recovery is really good, although I have gotten a couple edge guards when they run out of iron specifically, but you have to not have them not have iron. Obviously, the kill potential, Steve, really good. Steve, broken character, so I think even is fine. And so, having an even matchup with Steve, I'm happy with that. Like, I think I was like, yeah, an even matchup with Steve, right? Like, it's pretty rare. So I'm down for that. For Samus, you kind of just, you kind of force her to be uncomfortable using charge shot on the ground, which means she has to, like, short hop and full hop charge shot, which means that you have the ability to, like, run in and get under her. But, of course, Samus's damage output is really, really strong. She's able to just do a lot of damage. And then, of course, her anti-zoning options for, like, with forward air and dash attack and stuff like that are very good. And a tether grab can actually be very good, in my opinion, versus Swordfighter, because you can kind of like be trying to play the neutral game and then she's just like, oh, zounk, and grabs you from far away as opposed to needing to be close to you where you would have had the opportunity to hit her. But again, in my opinion, even matchup with Samus, very good. I think Samus is a very strong character. Your advantage is really strong because you can oftentimes use your up B to cover both directions that they move with bomb, which in my opinion is really, really good. Shuriken can also harass off stage, so you can edgeguard Samus. Not like as well as a lot of other characters because she does have a lot of options and she goes really far, but you can still get edgeguards against her, which in my opinion is better than most characters. Like the characters that edgeguard her are typically the ones that beat her, like Meta Knight and Falco and Min Min. So Swordfighter having some edgeguards against her, in my opinion, is really good. I could see this being winning, but I'm going to for now say it's even. Cloud, it's mostly just because Cloud is... he's good, right? He's a good character. He does a bunch of damage. He has random kill potential. But of course, you can edgeguard him because down air trades with up B. If you ever get, like, if you can use Shuriken to kind of harass him off stage to make his recovery really awkward. But of course, he's really mobile on stage. You really have to be super good with your whiff punishes because his aerials are huge and don't have a lot of lag. So it's really hard to whiff punish him. It's possible, but you have to be really, really on it. So in my opinion, like, it's possible to do that. So I think it's even because, of course, those will often send off stage. Again, down throw up E, even if it's not going to kill, will send far enough off stage that you can probably get an edge guard. Which feels really good, or you have to like force them to burn limit, which in my opinion is fine. So if you were really good enough, I could see winning for this matchup, but probably still even. And honestly, against Spargo, it's losing because it's Spargo. For Game & Watch, I feel like you of course have footstool down B, which means that Nair isn't going to be safe. The advantage for Game & Watch is obviously ridiculous. You can't downer through his up air. He gets to just kind of like, you have to basically go to ledge versus him, but you of course you do have the side B option to kind of like drift away and then side B to a platform or something like that, or like hit him for bursting. But honestly, the neutral, in my opinion, is pretty good in this matchup. You have Shuriken, and even though you can't really like aggressively Shuriken or like Shuriken into grab and stuff like that because he has bucket and that'll punish, if he buckets from far away, you can kind of just jump over it. You have burst options, so like Nair and stuff will trade with side B, which is obviously very good for you. If he's playing super passive, you get to kind of just like do your thing. And of course, you are a sword character, so you have range, which means that he's not going to be able to punish every single thing you do at a shield, which is nice. And again, like the kill potential is really good. Up air beats down air or trades with down air at worst, so Game & Watch can't really be super obvious with with like, I'm gonna just up B and then down air, like a lot of Game & Watches will. If you do get a grab on him and he doesn't DI the down throw upper correctly, it probably kills at like 65 or something like that, which is ridiculous, maybe 70. And of course, Game & Watch generally isn't going to be holding away. He can, edgeguarding can be a little bit difficult because he can up B through the side B, but again, you have to like time that perfectly, and I feel like there's enough mix-ups where it's not going to happen super often, maybe like once a set. But like you kind of get to harass his recovery a little bit actually, because you can Shuriken when he's further out. But like, honestly, I don't even know how often you're sending him off stage without killing him, because he's super light, and if you get like a down throw up B at like 45 near ledge, it's going to kill. And again, like your stuff is just good at hitting off stage, so in my opinion, very, very strong. Down tilt into up B works pretty well on Game & Watch, works well on the floaties. So I think it's fine. And again, Game & Watch, even matchup, that's good, right? He's top tier, so that's fine by me. For Min, you have the burst options to kind of make it so she's a little bit more uncomfortable in neutral, because if she does like ram arm, dragon arm, jump backwards like a lot of Min players will do, or like ram arm, jump back, you can full hop and side B out of shield and actually get a punish on it. So she has to mix up like double jumps and stuff like that, and if she double jumps and you don't do anything, then you get to just hit her landing with up air and then keep her in disadvantage for a long time, because Min's disadvantage is kind of ass. You can edge guard her. You have Shuriken to harass her from far away, so she can't really throw the arms as easily, and then on the tether you straight up just down at her and she dies, which is nice. Or you can up B if she goes high. Like the edge guarding is like pretty good for Mii Swordfighter. Of course, the neutral will be slightly Min favored because it's Min, and then she is able to harass you off stage because she can do like jump, double jump, ram arm, which can hit side B, so the recovering can be a little bit scary. But I feel like it's like equally as scary on both sides. The neutral can be a little bit scary on both sides. Your damage output is going to be ridiculous. Min's pretty easy to combo, so you will be getting a lot of damage. So I think it's about even. We both have our pros and cons in the matchup, and I feel like they kind of even out. For Aegis, neutral feels actually pretty good, because again, like a lot of their stuff isn't super safe on shield. If you ever get a parry, you get parry down tilt on Mithra. That will be huge damage because she's a fast follower, so she gets down tilt chained. Obviously, any down throw up B near the ledge or any up B pretty much ever is going to send them in edge guardable positions. Pyra is super easy to edge guard because you actually just down air her up B. Since it doesn't have a hitbox above it, it's a little bit trickier to do that for Mithra. So they should be recovering with Mithra, but again, you have Shuriken to kind of like make them be further out or like air dodge and go low. So in which case, if they need to do like the up B second shot, then obviously you can just like down tilt it and get down tilt up B, or down tilt back air. You can just back air it. You can just up B it if you grab the ledge already. It's a little bit difficult for her, but like obviously character kills pretty early if it's Pyra. The neutral is really good for the character overall, and the advantage, like the juggling can be really good, so you have to basically go to ledge. But again, similar to Game & Watch, you do have the ability to like side B back on stage, or like Beer versus Shuriken to kind of make it difficult, but you will be taking a bunch of damage against Mithra. She will be taking a bunch of damage against you as well, so it's, again, in my opinion, pretty even. I can honestly see this being winning, to be fair. Peach is definitely a Theorycraft type of matchup. I haven't played Peach a lot, and again, if I have, it's been Peach on Wi-Fi, which is definitely worse. But this matchup feels pretty good. You have your neutral air to kind of cover a bunch of like the short hop space, because you kind of force her to not do instant float because you have Shuriken, so she would just have to instant float, land, shield, or like smack the Shuriken every time, which will allow you to actually get a punish on that because she will be in like hit lag from hitting the Shuriken. So she can't really do that, so she has to float above Shurikens, which means you either get to like short hop Shuriken or just like short hop side B and basically be trading with all of her aerials. Peach is going to do a bunch of damage if she does get a hit on you, and her aggression is really scary, and her ledge trapping is really scary. Granted, you can kind of avoid the ledge sometimes because you have just like side B charge, whoosh, and go super far because she's not very fast. But I'm assuming like this is a theory matchup. I could see winning, I could see losing, but that's basically why I put it in even, is if I thought about it really hard from the Peach perspective, I'm like, well, you have all these things, and you have like footstool out of shield, and you have a bunch of pressure, and the damage output's really good. But then for Swordfighter, I'm like, well, it's really easy to like wall her out, and the burst options are really good, and it's pretty hard to punish. So I felt like both characters have their pros, so I think it's basically even. For Shulk, you kind of just beat him with burst options because Shulk doesn't like burst options, or he has to like basically play all the time in the corner. Obviously, you don't get the ability to like super kill combo him because he has shield art, or at low percent smash art is sometimes really good because you can basically make yourself go farther, so you're not going to get comboed, and if I ever try to up B, you just shield art in the middle of that, so you're not really getting your kill combos. But again, you can edgeguard this character, not super effectively, because if you downer him, he can still up B again and will probably make it back, but then you can like up B tech the first hit and then up B him, which I've actually done a couple times, so it can be a little bit scary. But it's mostly just the fact that you have good burst options and your aerials are faster than his, so he has to be constantly whiff punishing you, which is difficult when you have short hop side B and short hop down B. So if you're looking for like forward air and back air and nair, and that's what Shulk is trying to punish, they're just gonna like short hop side B him, and of course he can shield that, but then if he's shielding that, you just get to like run up and try to grab him or forward air, and it can be a little bit difficult for him to like really punish you super properly because his frame data kind of sucks. But also smash art, forward air goes crazy, so I'm not gonna complain about it. For Rob, the thing about Rob is that you will often not get edge edge guards against him. This was, in my opinion, one of the harder matchups before I played Hero Spin, because you actually just couldn't kill him because he would just recover so high, and then his landing options are good enough that it was a little bit hard to just like randomly get up airs on him if the Rob is playing careful enough. But when you add Hero Spin to the equation, it just makes it so that like Rob can only ever super go high every single time, and if you just kind of like jump and bait out a nair, you can then up B it. Of course, like his ground options are really good. His ground options are better than your ground options, although again, Mii Swordfighter down tilt is very good. It can obviously be a little bit threatening. You have options to punish things like nair and back air, but just straight up by whiff punishing, because you have side B and down B, which is in my opinion ridiculous. But like Rob has good out of shield options, he has good killing. You're basically never going to edge guard him super fully unless the Rob messes up. Like you do get a lot of damage on Rob because again, he's very easy to combo, but Rob will also get a lot of damage on you, and you don't have super good enough out of shield options to like punish his stuff. Like you can punish like his poorly spaced forward airs, but like nair spaced, like you're not going to punish that because Mii Swordfighter's out of shield options aren't good enough, and you can't footstool that. So it can be a little bit scary when he has a bunch of pressure, so that means you have to preemptively be doing things like up tilt or up air. But again, that's like readable, and it's a little bit uncomfortable in those positions. But obviously, if you're right, you're going to kill him really early with up air, or like a parry into like a grab down throw up B, grab down throw up air, whatever. Obviously, that's DI dependent. But it feels like pretty okay overall. It's just like Rob is a good character, so sometimes he's just going to like good character. He's going to laser your jump side B. He's going to gyro to be annoying to like cover the low recoveries. It can be a little bit annoying, but Rob has to really be on every single thing, or you're just going to be able to punish him a lot of times for free. For Joker, again, Joker is a very mobile character that relies on whiff punishing, and you have a giant burst option with short hop side B and down B, so he has to play very careful and very far back, which means that you just kind of get to run up on him because he has to back up and he has to play passive. Like obviously he could play aggressive, but a lot of Jokers don't do that. So you are able to get a bunch of damage because your combo game is better than Joker's actually. Obviously, like he has good kill options when he has Arsene, right? But if he has Arsene, the edge guarding is actually really, really easy because again, you just kind of down air the up B and then up B the up B, kind of like the other characters I've talked about. The tether recovery is a little bit harder to deal with because like you can hit the tether and then do the same thing, but then you can like up B the second time and then wait for your up B to finish. So you don't actually get to do that as easily. And his up B is like huge, so we can just kind of wait a long time. Or, I mean, you can like fast fall downer to get the SD kill, but again, that's an SD kill, so you have to be either winning or losing like by a lot of percent in a single stock. But again, I do think the fact that he has to corner himself means that he's putting himself susceptible to getting comboed, because again, if you just do like a random like full hop back air on like his full hop because he's trying to get out of the corner, or he's going like, I'm gonna jump and gun, and you just kind of like track and go like back, like you jump backwards, double jump towards him with back air and get up B there. That's an interaction I've seen happen a lot of times, and by I've seen, I mean I've done it a lot of times against Joker. Shuriken is obviously not super great in this matchup because you can just Rebels guard it, but you don't really want to do that. But at the same time, like, if you're approaching with Shuriken, you can do that. Approach with Shuriken, if he Rebels guards, you just grab him for doing the Rebels guard, and then you can kill him for it. So in my opinion, it's a little bit scary for Joker, but again, good character, has mobility, is able to counter your edge guard, or sorry, your recoveries pretty consistently, so side B is a little bit scary. If he just guesses right, he can kill you, so it can be a little bit threatening. For Pac-Man, again, this is a theory one. I haven't played it super often, but it feels like Swordfighter's good at dealing with Hydrant, which is nice. Again, you have burst options. You have the ability to like annoy his recovery because you can side B, or sorry, not side B. You can neutral B with the Shuriken, hit the pellets of his recovery. You don't necessarily let him just like, I'm going to have fruit all the time, because you're good at dealing with Hydrant, and your Shuriken can kind of like hit him, and kind of like how it's annoying for Steve to do that type of stuff. And of course, you can keep in disadvantage super hard. His damage output isn't high enough without specifically like Galaga. So I think if you avoid that, you should be fine. You get to edge trap him actually pretty effectively, and again, you like just going for like, I'm just going to randomly Hydrant as Pac-Man is a lot more threatening when you have something like up B for being Hero Spin, or up air like through the Hydrant and then just like hitting Pac-Man. It is honestly scary for him to do the things he wants to do, but also you're randomly going to get belled and die at 70, and I don't understand Pac-Man enough or how to fight Pac-Man enough to like really give a super accurate opinion, which is kind of why I put it in even, so I think that's fair. For Sora, if Sora's hitting the combos, it's going to be good for him. If we're hitting the combos, it's going to be good for us. They're probably, I mean, Mii Swordfighter's combos are probably a little bit easier than Sora's, honestly, but he has a lot of range. It's pretty hard to edge guard him because he has just a plethora of of recovery options. He's good at keeping you in disadvantage because he has his projectiles. He has like Thunder to kind of disrupt your side B recoveries, which can be annoying. He can counter your low recovery, so his edge guarding is pretty good against you in this matchup. We were able to like Shuriken and be annoying, and I definitely have edge guarded Sora, especially when they go for like side B1, 2, and I just like up B it and like off stage. and he's going to die at like 50, and you can still grab the ledge a lot of times. So it's a little bit scary for him. It's a little bit scary for both. I would say the neutral is like pretty comfortable for Swordfighter because your projectile is faster than his. Overall, I mean, it's as fast as fire, but he can only have fire so many times. And then, of course, you have your crazy burst option. So I think it's like pretty even in neutral. But Sora's just a good character. I think, again, he's underrated overall, so I think it's fine. For Mega Man gets to actually nullify your burst options because Pellet will just interrupt your side B and stuff, so it can be kind of annoying for that. Your damage output's really strong versus him. His damage output is pretty okay, but he's just going to play passive the entire time. Shuriken can be annoying for him because it forces him to pellet a little bit early, which means then you can potentially like get hit by a pellet, but it's not going to be the knockback pellet, which means that now you can like try to jump and backer him or forward air him or something like that. The edge guarding for this matchup is really, really good for Swordfighter because you downer his up B and then you up B his up B, or if he goes high, you can, threaten him there. It's not super comfortable. I think Swordfighter's pretty good at dealing with Leaf Shield. They have to footstool off of your shield to be safe because otherwise, I mean, honestly, I don't even know if that's safe because you have double jump up B, so it could still not be safe. I haven't labbed that, but it feels like you're pretty comfortable when you get a hit as Swordfighter, so it feels pretty good. But at the same time, neutral is going to be annoying because it's Mega Man, and he's annoying in neutral. For Meta Knight, he kind of just gets to jump around and be weird, and then, of course, can just, like, kill you off of a hit, so you have to play neutral super tight. You can combo him pretty hard, but you're not going to be comboing him as hard as vice versa. His disadvantage is pretty good. He has multiple double jumps, so he gets to just, like, jump away, swat you out with down air, so you don't get to play the normal game, and you're also never going to edgeguard him, so you're never going to get, like, the super early kills off stage. You can specifically get, like, down throw up B, down throw back air up B, stuff like that, but it's a little bit not as comfortable as a lot of other characters because like the neutral's kind of awkward. He has good ground options. He has great poking ability. So like you're not going to get the down tilt war. Like you're going to be trading the down tilt wars like back and forth. And of course, if you ever get dash attacked, it's scary. So you have to play really passive against his burst, which means you're not going to be getting your big damage. For Lucas's frame data is just really good, right? Like double jump Zair is really, really hard for Swordfighter to deal with. And you have to very much so camp him. But then he has like, good airspeed. So we can kind of get around that by like jumping and still kind of being passive. But then he can always like landing Zair, landing Fair, which are all going to be really safe moves. Your damage output is good. His damage output's a little worse, but again, you can edgeguard Lucas. I've definitely like down aired his up B and then up B'd the startup, but again, that's mostly going to be SD kills. You can also go like down air into like double jump forward air, but you have to like full hop do a high down air, so your down air ends earlier, which means then you can forward air him and still recover, because if you do it like a short hop down air or like a run off down air, you have to just recover immediately, so it doesn't quite work as well. He's just short and annoying, and his pressure is really good, so if he gets in, it can be really difficult. Like he's not going to edgeguard you super effectively, but at the same time, he has PK Thunder to make your side be a little bit less effective, so he actually can edgeguard you sometimes. You can kind of just like go high and avoid that sometimes, but then like he's not like, you're not really gonna be in a super good position afterwards. Like you won't get hit, but you'll still be like above him on a platform or something, because if you land next to him, he can just kind of pull the PK Thunder around and do like 30 damage to you, which is not fun. But yeah, I've had annoying times against this character. You are still a sword character, and you do have good burst options, so you can kind of like brute force your way in if Lucas is being aggressive, but you're kind of putting yourself at risk because it's not reacting. You're like preemptively just being like, oh, I just hope I hit you, which isn't as effective as like whiff punishing with those moves, like against all the sword characters. For Inkling's just kind of annoying, right? Like you have a huge kill differential, so like you're going to be killing a lot earlier, but they can actually dash under Shuriken, which means you're going to have to solely rely on down tilt in this matchup in neutral. Like obviously like landing aerials, things like Nair and stuff are still good, but they're really good at whiff punishing. But the thing is, they're not whiff punishing with speed, they're whiff punishing with size, which can be a little bit difficult. So in my opinion, it's just a little bit uncomfortable to play neutral in this matchup. You edgeguard the hell out of this character because you downer the up B and you up B the up B. It feels very good. So you can get your kills, but like neutral is kind of really difficult in my opinion in this matchup. Maybe I'm just, don't have enough experience in the matchup, but it feels kind of hard. And for Hero, if he gets bounced, it's annoying, but you can also kind of interrupt him reading his menu with Shuriken. If he doesn't like read bounce immediately and click it, you can actually be pretty good in those matchups. You do a bunch of damage to him. He's not going to be doing combos to you, obviously, because it's Hero. But if he ever like hits you off stage and like reads a bunch of spells and gets like Psych Up and Bounce, like it's going to be a hard time. Bounce is really, really good in this matchup. If he doesn't have it, the matchup feels like very favored. And then when he has it, it's kind of like you just have to wait, but then he's going to wait and like deal buffs and like shoot random stuff at you, which can be annoying. The range is of course really annoying, but if you are good enough at if you're able to whiff punish it, kind of like the other sword longsword characters, if you're in that mindset of I'm just going to whiff punish instead of I need to force him to not do spells, it can be a little bit easier, but then you're going to let him do spells, which is difficult, and Hero is annoying. I don't like fighting that character. And in my opinion, that's all the even matchups. And I've been talking a lot, so I'm going to try to go over the losing ones relatively quickly. For Kazuya, he gets to reflect your shuriken, he gets to just kind of like hit you with electric, and he's just going to kill you. Like, you don't get many chances versus Kazuya, so even though you do a bunch of damage to him, your stuff probably isn't going to kill him as effectively. The edge guarding, you don't actually get to downer his up B because you'll trade, and then he just up Bs again, and I don't think you get to do a second downer quick enough, or if you do, you'll be off stage because you have to like tech the up B, and then you're just going to be too low to recover, so it's a little bit scary. Electric is obviously really good, and he just gets to kind of shield a bunch in this matchup, and even though you of course do have down throw up B, like, you're probably not going to kill him because he's heavy, and you don't really get to play the advantage game as easily, because if you're ever wrong and he just like fast fall air dodges and then electrics, like, that's way more threatening than all the other heavies doing it. And yeah, he just does so much damage. I could see this maybe being even if you play super perfectly around stuff and you're like constantly walling him out, but I always feel scared when I play this matchup. For Diddy Kong, he has long range whiff punishing just like you do. You do get to edge guard him a bit, but I feel like the onstage is so in his favor because like Diddy is constantly going to be running around and shielding with banana in hand. If you of course go for grab, he can like roll or spot dodge and then punish you super hard. The advantage for Diddy is super good. It just doesn't feel comfortable, and also monkey flip is so good in this matchup because he can monkey flip through shuriken and still hit you. It's pretty hard to punish because he does kind of pancake when he lands with monkey flip, so if he like monkey flips through you, you can't do the same thing like with other characters in like short hop side B because he'll land and you'll go over him, and I don't know if you have enough time to just do a normal like drop shield side B or like short hop delay side B. I don't think that punishes it. So he kind of gets to have the momentum and have the stuff, and your aerials aren't safe enough other than back air on shield to avoid anything with banana. So that's annoying. So you kind of just like can't hit his shield. You just have to play super perfect in this matchup to win. And honestly, it feels pretty bad. For Brawler, I just think Brawler does more damage than Swordfighter does overall. And it's really, really hard to deal with just like full hop nair pressure and short hop nair pressure. And I know you would think, oh, but if that's the case, why isn't Fox a bad matchup? It's because you can't edgeguard Brawler. So even though Fox can be annoying in neutral, like you hit him so much harder because any hit you do is going to send him off stage and you can kill him off stage. Whereas you cannot kill Brawler on stage or off stage because he can just go high. Obviously, I'm biased. I think Burning Dropkick would be better in this matchup to like be able to Burning Dropkick over Shuriken, which would be annoying. His burst options are really good. His damage output is crazy. His grab game is as good as Swordfighter's grab game. So like I feel like every single aspect of this matchup is kind of in favor for Brawler. It does not feel good. For Sonic, in my opinion, could be even because you have Shuriken to deal with spins, so they have to like jump and spin. But like the edge guarding is going to be really good in this matchup. He can spring to mess with your up B. He can go really far out and mess with your side Bs, or he can just like punish your side Bs on stage because he's so fast. He just does a lot of damage. It's really hard to keep him out, and all of your stuff is like slightly too laggy, and you're slightly not fast enough to super pressure him when it comes to a lot of situations, because he's also going to put himself in the corner, so you can't just like randomly side B, because if you side B, you might just like accidentally go off stage if you like hit him like as high on his shield, or like as high as on shield as you could, which is not something you want to do obviously, but he's also able to punish those. It's just a pain. Sonic is a good character, and even though I feel like Swordfighter has the tools, like I'm also fighting like Wrath and Sonics constantly online, which doesn't feel good, but maybe they're just being better, so it could be even, and they're just beating me because they're really good, so it's hard to tell. For Pikachu, T-Jolt kind of is king in this matchup. T-Jolt is so strong against Swordfighter because you don't get to Shuriken as much. He's short, so similar to the Inkling problem, like you kind of can't just do a bunch of Shurikens and expect that, so you have to play the down tilt game, but frame 2 air dodge plus Thunder. Combo breaks can be really annoying. He can edge guard you because he can use Thunder. On the side Bs, he can T-Jolt the up Bs. The edge guarding for Pika is better than vice versa. You're obviously not going to be edge guarding Pika very much. The combo game for Pika is really good. He can also play super around all the crazy Swordfighter stuff because he can constantly be going under the stage and camping, and it's a pain for Swordfighter to ever get a meaningful hit against Pikachu, whereas Pikachu, like, he can just get a meaningful hit against Swordfighter basically whenever he wants because it's T-Jolt back air, T-Jolt forward air, like really, really hard to mess with. And for Wario's air mobility is just too good, so you can never be comfortable with like his air pressure. It's just so strong. So he's able to kind of be annoying in the air. He does a bunch of damage, and even if it feels relatively even as you're playing, you know that one of your stocks is just going to end at 50 because of Waft. It's really hard to grab Wario, so you're never going to be getting your super biggest stuff. He has a really good recovery that you simply can't mess with because he just goes, oh, you hit him off stage, jump, bike, and then he lands in center, and you can't really do anything about that. So you don't get edge guards, you don't get grabs often, you're not winning the air-to-air game because he's just too mobile in the air, so you're constantly just feel like you're guessing in this matchup, and not even like read get type of guessing where you're just like, I hope you're here. Oh, I wasn't. I got whiff punished by Nair. I took 60. This honestly feels like the worst matchup of all of them in my opinion. It just feels so difficult, and you have to be so on everything, and you have to make every single hit count, but you're not getting like your best hits for the most part because Wario can just kind of avoid them, and if nothing is happening and he's just playing super passive, he's getting waft, which means if you're both playing passive, he can kind of just get 2 wafts a game, which sucks. In my opinion, that matchup sucks. And yeah, that's going to be about it for this one. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments what you think. And yeah, if you see this matchup chart, you go, wow, Mii Swordfighter looks top tier. I think he is. Or like upper high tier at this point. So like the more I play him, the more I feel like this is probably, like his matchups are just so good. It's ridiculous in my opinion. He's just feels so strong. And a lot of the times that I lose, I feel like it's either my fault, one of these couple of losing matchups, and even matchup where good players can beat me, or like, oh, I'm bad at footstool down, be out of shield, so I'm missing out on a bunch of punishes that I should in theory be getting. But yeah, as always, social media and partner stuff is down below, and I will see you all next time. Peace.